Hello students, welcome to another economics class. We are done with the classwork and we are looking into what? We are doing revision. Today, I will still be taking you on economics and the topic we'll be revising today will be on what? Labor markets. We'll be revising labor market from now henceforth. We'll be doing revision, and if there is need for past question, we'll just be revising it online. Then if you have any question, you can still do what? Forward it to us. Today we'll be revising labor market. This is your SS2 work. This is SS2 work. I believe by now you all know what labor market is, but we'll be looking at it again to refresh your memories. So by the end of this lesson, we'll be able to define labor markets and the demand for labor. Labor markets and the demand for labor. Secondly, we'll look at the factors influencing the demand for labor. Factors influencing the demand for labor. Lastly, the supply of labor and the factors affecting the supply of labor. The supply of labor and the factors affecting the supply of labor. These are the objectives we have to achieve in this words revision. So, peace, what do you mean by labor markets? Labor markets. Labor markets. Okay? Yeah. Can you just remember? Labor market, SS2 work. Okay, labor market is a market where labor and conditions for employment are negotiated and determined. It's a market where labor and conditions for employment are negotiated and what? Determined. Everything about labor, the conditions for what? The employment, anything when it is being discussed, when it is being determined, is where it is being discussed, determined is what we call what? Labor market. I'll be looking at this labor market. We have so many topics under what? Labor market. We have mobility of labor, efficiency of labor, and the rest of them. So today we'll be looking at what? We'll be looking at demand for what? Labor. So what do you mean by demand for labor? It's the number of employees or workers an employer is willing to hire at a particular wage rate. The number of employees, the number of workers that an employer is willing to do what? Hire at a particular wage rate. So if the employer wants to hire what? 1,000 or hires 1,000 workers or laborers, it means that the 1,000 workers or laborers he hires is the word demand for labor. The number of workers or employees an employer is willing to hire at a particular wage rate. So, what are those things that will make someone to hire more laborers or to what? Reduce the number of laborers he has? Like the other factors of production, the demand for labor is what? A derived demand. We have different types of demand. We have joint demand, complementary demand, composite demand, competitive demand. But the demand for labor is what? Derived demand. Why is it derived demand? Because the employer does not demand for labor for its own sake. It does not demand for labor for its own sake, but for what it offers to the production of the required what? Commodity. Like now your father hires laborers to come and build a house. He does not just hire the laborers like that. He hired them because of what? What they will do for him. So that is why we call it what? Derived demand. Because the employer does not demand for labor for its own sake, but for what it offers to the production of the required commodity. Now, what are those factors that can influence demand for labor? What are those things that will make an employer to hire more laborers and an employer to reduce the number of laborers he hires? So let's look at the first one. Can you think, what are those things? As an employer, if you become an employer tomorrow, what are those things that will make you to hire more laborers? What are those things that will motivate you? You say, I can do it. What are those things that can motivate you to do what? Hire laborers. Yes. And where is the Chidebere? Yes. And what are those things that will make you, if you become an employer, you hire more laborers? Now we have the first one. We have wage rate or price of what? Labor. Wage rate or price of what? Labor. Now, if they say that the price of labor or the wage rate to pay a worker is small, what will the laborer do? What will the employer do? And I think he will hire more laborers because the wage rate, the amount of money is to pay them as salary or wages was small. So let's say, for instance, the amount they have to pay is 50,000. They will hire more. But if we say it's 200,000, they will reduce the number of persons they hire. True or false? Like Empire, how much the Empower Youth Empowerment, how much are they paying the workers? Is it not 30,000? So because the money is small, the government to do what? Employ more people to the what? To the business. Do you get that? But if the wage rate is high, they will reduce the number of what? Workers. So wage rate determines the number of persons the employer is willing to hire. Now we have the next one. We have the number of industries. The number of industries. If there are many industries, there will be greater demand for labor and vice versa. So if we have so many industries in the nation, why is it that we have so many turn up of graduates and they don't have work? Because we don't have enough vacancies. So if we have many industries, what will happen? The government will employ more. So we have the next one. We have the demand for the products. Demand for the products. If you are a producer, you are producing so many goods and services, people are not demanding for it. My dear, you reduce the number of workers. Some persons will be underemployed, while some people will be unemployed. They will retrench some persons. If you look at what is happening in the society as a result of COVID-19, you will see that so many persons are being retrenched from their place of work because the organization, they don't have money to pay them. That is, if we have many vacancies in the industries, if we have more industries, it will make the employers to employ more laborers. Now we have the third one. The fourth one, we have the nature of the business. The nature of the business. You know, we have capital intensive method of production and we have labor intensive method of production. Yes. Erondu, Ngozi, you know now, what do you mean by capital intensive method of production and labor intensive method of production? So in this case, you see that if the production is more capital intensive, that is they use the organization, they use more of machineries. There is no need of employing what? Laborers. Or they will employ what? Less laborers. And vice versa. So we have the next one. We have the state of employment. We have the state of employment. If the country has not reached its full employment level, there will be more demand for what? Labor. If the government or the country, they want to employ 1,000 staff, workers or employees, and they succeeded employing 50, they need to do what? Employ more 950. That's what so the state of employment, if they have not reached its full employment level, they have to do what? Employ more. Now we have the last one. Under that, we have the quantity of other factors of what? Production. The quantity of other factors of production. If the quantity of capital and labor is high, the demand for labor will also be what? High. So if we have much money, you know, capital is not all about money. Example of capital, it could be building, it could be machineries, it could be money, and the rest of them. If we have more of this, you don't have any problem rather than to do what? Employ more laborers or employees. So you have to employ more persons because of the what? Number of capital, the quantity of capital that is what? Available, and vice versa. So, but if all those things are not in place, you will reduce the number of what? Workers that you have. Now, we've looked at the demand for labor. Let's look at the supply of what? Labor. Supply of labor. This has to do with the quantity of labor, that is human effort, available for productive what? Activities at a given level of what? Wage. The number of what? Labor available. You know that demand for labor is talking about the number of persons an employer is willing to hire at a wage rate. But when you talk about supply of labor, it's talking about how many persons that are available for this. It's not that they have employed them, but how many persons are what? Available for this work. How many persons are available? How many persons are willing to do what? Do the work. So that's supply of labor. Why demand for labor is talking about a situation whereby how many persons will an employer hire at a particular what? Wage rate. So this supply of labor, it shows the participation of labor in production in the economy. It shows how the laborers, how they will participate in what? In the what? Production in the what? Economy. So what are those things that will make the number of laborers to increase, and those things that will make the number of what? Laborers to do what? Decrease? That's what we'll be looking at. That is the factors affecting the supply of what? Labor. Remember that supply of labor is the quantity of labor available for productive what? Activities. Now we have the first one. We have the size of the population. We have the size of the population. Now let's look at this way. If the population of a country is high, or is much, or is on the increase, what will happen to the supply of labor? Definitely it will be what? The supply of labor will increase. That is the number of labor force available. You know that number of labor force has to do with from people that are of the age, between the ages of 18 and what? 60 or 65 in the tertiary institution. So in this case, you see that if the size of the population is big or large, it means that the labor force will also be what? Large. That is, the supply of labor will also be what? Will be high. Now we have the second one, the number of people who are sick and disabled. The number of people who are what? Sick and disabled. Now the supply of labor will be high if the number of those who have health challenge is on the decrease. Those who has health challenge is on the what? Decrease. So the number of people that are willing to work will be on the what? Increase. But if we have so many handicapped, we have so many physically challenged, both mentally challenged and the rest of them, the supply of labor will reduce because they cannot do what? Do the work effectively, or they may not even do the work. For instance, you have a mad person in the street, you can't count that person as supply of labor, in the supply of labor, because he cannot do that work. Now we have the next one, we have wage rates. If the increase in wage rates will increase supply of labor because it will attract more people to pick up paid jobs. So if there is increase in wage rate, let's say for instance your salary is 50,000 and they increase it to what? 70 or 100 or 150,000. Hey, many people would like to do what? Join in the labor force. Many people would like to offer themselves for what? Productive what? Activities. So if there is increase in wage rates, definitely the supply of labor will be what? High. Let's look at the next one. We have the number of years spent in school and training. The number of years spent in school and what? Training. If the time spent to acquire a skill in a school is extended, the supply of labor will definitely what? Reduce. So the time you spent in school, you wasted so much time in school. Maybe you have carryovers, you repeated class, and the rest of them. Remember, from 18 years you joined the labor force. So if you are lagging behind, you are not going to school, so many challenges, so many things made you not to complete the actual year that you come out from the school. At the age of 20, 21, you are still in secondary school. My dear, you are not part of the supply of what? Labor. So if the time that is spent to acquire skill or job or training in school is extended, the supply of labor will do what? Reduce. Now we have the next one. We have employers' conditionalities. Employers' conditionalities. This could be seen in the area of employer demanding more years of experience from the people, which reduces the supply of labor. It could be seen in the area of employer demanding more years of experience. Have you ever heard of someone who went for job interviews and they will ask how many years of experience? You say one. They will say, we don't need that. We need someone that have passed through 10 years, 11 years of experience. You see that when this conditionality is on the increase, it means that the supply of labor will do what? Will reduce. Supply of labor will reduce with these words, conditions of the what? Employer. You see that, have you gotten this? Have you gotten this? Are you with your master? Are you with your PhD? Are you with your this? And you see that the number of words, supply of labor will do what? Reduce with these conditions. Now we have the next one. I think the final one for today, it is working hours. Working hours. The more the number of hours, the more the quantity of labor supplied. Because quantity of labor put in by workers determines annual supply of what? Labors. So if you have more working hours, you see that you have more supply of what? Labor. But if the working hours is being reduced, you have what? Less supply of labor. You know what is happening in this season because of what? COVID-19. You say, sorry, because that is what is happening in the society. Even if you on your television or your radio, what you have here is COVID-19. So in this case, if you go to the banking sector, by what time did they close for the day? 2 p.m. instead of the normal 4 p.m. Now, if you enter the banking hall, what happens? You see few number of what? Staff. Because the working hour has been what? Reduced. The supply of labor will definitely be what? Reduced. But if the working hour is extended, the number of what? The supply of labor will definitely be what? Be high. So this is where we'll be calling it a day today. Remember, we talked about labor market and we looked at demand for labor and what? Supply of labor. Please, just read my advice for you in this season of COVID. Continue reading, continue revising your past question. Don't just be note and just see it as if school is resuming tomorrow and you are writing your WAEC tomorrow. So just keep on reading. Don't just be tired, because you may be tired and they will just call off. They will just say, come back and write the exam. And that time you are no longer what? Prepared. Just remain focused. Continue solving. Don't be tired of reading. Prepare yourself so that you not do what? Look like those 5 virgins in the Bible that did not prepare and their master met them. Don't be taken unawares. So this is the assignment. Look at the years, how we normally do it in class. Just use your WAEC past question. Look at 1991 number 7 and the rest of it. You know how we normally do it. Try and practice them. These are the years you will see labor markets, demand for labor in the past question. Just look at them, solve them, get back to me. Give me the questions if you are confused or you have any question to ask. Thank you and remain safe and responsible.